Hi, welcome back. My name's Robert. I'm here with Beau. Hey, Beau, how you doing?
Doing good, Bobby.
All right, this is part three of four-parter. And this one, what was it like watching your comic book creation go from being a comic book and being translated and done as a TV show? What was that whole process? Because I would think, me personally, letting somebody else come in and play my yard, it would be sort of, whoa, wait a minute. Or it could be entertaining, what somebody else's vision. So, how was that?
It came on a couple of different levels, Bobby, and it's a real good question. Um, when we were working on the process of getting this to happen, and they sent the script for what they would call the first episode, their Wynonna Earp Bible. They sent that to me for approval and changes, and I looked over them. And at this point, it was a good thing that it happened to me at the age of 60 instead of the age of 30, because
Right.
your mind's in a whole different place. I
Mhm.
had been at this point been publishing constantly Wynonna Earp for 20 years.
Right.
Had its fan base of males 15 to 50, let's say, or 55. And Wynonna Earp was always Wynonna Earp to me. I told myself you're going to read these and then you're going to wait 2 days. You're not going to reply to anyone. You're just going to walk away from you. Because if I had, I would have had those 30-year-old thoughts of, oh, no, this isn't that. She doesn't do this. Then I thought to myself in those 2 days, you've been publishing this for 20 years.
Mhm.
You have your core base audience, and, hasn't dipped, but it hasn't grown huge from that point at the same time. It had plateaued.
Mhm.
Now, these people, Emily Andrus, the showrunner, writer, and sci-fi, this is their business. This is what they know best, what they've been doing for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I knew I had to trust them to take this to different eyeballs, to a different level, to non-comic book people that have never read this, the comics before, who had no idea who Wynonna Earp was.
Mhm.
And I had to trust them to do what they do best. And it was a reverse situation of, what if they came to me and said, this is our TV show, can you make it into a comic? They would have to trust me to do what I know best. So
Uh-huh.
I did that. I had two minor changes. That was
Mhm.
it. The two things
Really?
that had to change. And it wasn't, but she's a blonde, you made her a brunette. It wasn't anything like that.
Right.
But there were two changes that I had to make. And trust me, 30-year-old Beau would have had a heck of a lot more, but there wasn't. And I said, I got to trust them to do this. And we went from, I always wrote Wynonna as 40 to 45 years old at the peak of her career.
Uh-huh.
They suggested we start at 27 when she's a total mess at the beginning of her career. So it was the origin in reverse, and we worked on
Ah.
that. And I got to say, and I've used this quote before, and I've done it, but I handed Emily a loaf of bread, and she made sandwiches for the world. She brought me an audience of women 15 to 55 that I never
Mhm.
had. And
Right.
for all these women, these Earpers that came aboard, all of a sudden, I'm their first comic book. And you know what they always say about your first love? You never forget your first love. Those Earpers, those fans, those viewers have never forgotten me and have shown me nothing but the ultimate in respect and support from day one. I've got my good old boy fan base of guys and stuff that I've known forever, but this is a whole nother level. So now I am the titan of testosterone, but I'm also the emperor of estrogen too. So it's a wonderful world, and it goes to show you, you can have a wide audience.
Mhm.
You don't have to pick a side. You can
Right.
have a wide audience and appeal to everyone. Have a character that they can emotionally invest in, and
Mhm.
have compelling stories. Granted, Wynonna Earp is not The Watchmen. It's not Dark Knight. But that doesn't mean that every movie, TV show, or comic book has to be this deep philosophical. They can be fun. But as long as there's heart and humor, you're going to make a lot of people happy. And getting to see those characters on screen, and we got to see them, before that, I got the daily rushes every day. So every morning I would get up and watch what they filmed the day before. To see Melanie, even in her audition, do this thing, totally no one else around, she's just doing it at the camera, to go, Wynonna Earp, U.S. Marshal. Goosebumps. 12-year-old Beau's head would have gone boom. Just then. And I got to be honest with you, the age of 60, after doing Wynonna for 20 years, I get goosebumps right now just thinking that there is a real person saying my character's name, sometimes lines that I have written or been a part of in situations. And hats off to Emily Andress for always being gracious and involving me in everything that they did, for having such respect for the character, for Melanie Scrofano, who I literally can say out of the 300 audition tapes that we watched, she was in my top 3 of ones we had, and she just nailed it, and it will always be what I envision as Wynonna Earp. In fact, I'm at not being a Hollywood or entertainment insider. As soon as they told me, hey, Melanie's it, I direct messaged her and said, hey, glad to have you as Wynonna. This is great, blah, blah, blah. They hadn't told her yet.
Oh, no.
I didn't know that there was a procedure of how you do all this. And she goes, I got it. You're kidding. And I mean, it started off a great friendship because Melanie and I have written together since then, and she's like a part of our family. But yeah, I really blew that one, but it makes a nice anecdote now. But back then, I'm sure at Sci-Fi and in Emily's office, they were going, get this stump jumper away from our actors, so it was different, but it was great to see all that. And Emily, the characters of Waverly and of Nicole Hott and Doc Holliday, she brought those in and added them with my characters of Bobo Del Rey and Wynonna Earp, and made this wonderful hybrid universe of television meets comic books, and respect is given all the way around. And like I said, contractually, all they had to do is send me a check, send me up to the set every once in a while, and that's it. That's all they had to do. But Emily and 724, the production, all of them added me and made me a part of that family in so many ways. They were so gracious, and I'll always be indebted to them for that.
Well, I think it's awesome how they brought you in to being a piece of it. I mean, I've heard stories of how, they bought the property and they did this, but I was never part of it. You get a producer title in the end and a check, and that's it.
Yeah.
And even watching you, knowing you and watching the whole process and over the years, I think it's just awesome that you got to be a part of it. And I'm sure you learned a ton, especially don't text call the actor and tell them they got the part until they got the contract. Yeah. But no, that is awesome. That is awesome. So
it was a learning experience being on set, getting to take my whole family, Beth and the boys, all up to Calgary to be a part of that. Ted Adams and I and his wife and Beth were on the first season, the first shoot, to be there with the guy that told me from the beginning it needs to be a TV series. That was a wonderful experience. It has been 6 years of wonderment, Bobby. I'm not one of these people that says, well, I deserve this, because if I got what I deserved, ooh, boy, my life would not be good. But it was just through the graciousness of other people that I got to be a part of all that.
That is awesome. Now, you even got to be in an episode, correct?
Yes, I have my 17 seconds of infamy. It was a cameo, my Stan Lee moment, and I got to do it with my buddy Tim Rozon, and it was a unique experience because I was on there for 17 seconds, and that was half a day's filming because of they have to work from different camera angles to get this, to get that. It wasn't mistakes, but just the different angles that they have to get. And, growing up, we all at one point in our life go, I'd like to be a movie star.
Yeah.
That told me I would never want to be an actor. I don't like repetition, and there is
Right.
so much repetition in all that. And my hat's off to actors all over, because they have to do that and give each presentation as it was the first time and spontaneous. And I want to be a writer. There you have all control. You know,
Right.
you don't have to do it. But an actor, that's a special breed, and my hat was off to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up part 3 of a 4-part series we're doing here with Beau. And we will be back. Thank you, Beau.
All right, Bobby.